Let's get right into this. Number 10. Military-funded remote viewing experiments. Remote viewing lets people see distant places using only their minds. Right, because when satellites weren't creepy enough, the government decided to stare at enemies with pure vibes. In the 1970s, the CIA actually funded programs where subjects sat in quiet rooms, drew random shapes, and claimed they were psychically spying on Soviet bases. And no, this wasn't a sci-fi pilot episode. Declassified files show the Stargate project ran for over 20 years, burning millions of dollars. Some sessions oddly described real locations with unsettling accuracy. Others looked like a toddler attacked a sketchbook. Still, analysts kept scoring hits above random chance, which is weird because, statistically, guessing nothing should win every time. Meanwhile, you've probably felt someone staring at you and turned around. Same mechanism, smaller budget. The uncomfortable part: the program wasn't shut down for being fake. It was shut down for being unreliable. Translation: sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and that's scarier than failure. Because if even once was real, then distance is optional, and suddenly privacy becomes a suggestion. Number 9. Psychic spies used during the Cold War. Psychic spies were trained to gather intelligence during the Cold War. While everyone imagines spy gadgets and trench coats, the US and USSR quietly experimented with clairvoyants, healers, and people who claimed they could feel secrets. The logic was simple. If the enemy might be doing it, you can't afford not to. Reports show viewers describing submarine locations, missile layouts, even code names. Accuracy rates were inconsistent, but some sessions matched classified intel revealed years later. Not enough to bet a war on, but enough to keep generals nervously interested. Meanwhile, you still trust your gut when something feels off about a person. That same instinct just got weaponized. The contradiction? Both sides publicly mocked psychic warfare while privately funding it, because nothing screams confidence like pretending something is nonsense while desperately hoping it works. In the end, psychic spies weren't fired. They were quietly shelved. Because you don't erase ideas that might work. You just stop talking about them and hope the other side stopped first. Number 8. Secret labs testing astral projection. Astral projection allows consciousness to leave the body. Sounds like something invented by insomniacs at 3 a.m. Yet military and academic labs tested out-of-body states using sensory deprivation, binaural beats, and controlled sleep paralysis. Subjects reported floating above their bodies, observing rooms, even reading numbers placed out of sight. Some experiments failed spectacularly. Others produced results that made researchers uncomfortable enough to stop asking questions. Brain scans showed unusual activity in the temporoparietal junction, the region tied to self-location, which means the brain can lose track of where you are. You felt this drifting feeling before, half asleep, body heavy, mind awake, same doorway. The contradiction is brutal. Scientists argue it's just neural confusion, yet still couldn't fully explain verified observations. If consciousness can detach even briefly, then the body isn't the pilot seat. It's the vehicle. And once you realize that, sleep stops feeling passive. It starts feeling like a launch pad. Number 7. Radio towers listening for other realities. Radio signals can detect messages from other dimensions. Most people think radios just play music and conspiracy podcasts. But some research facilities pointed antennas at empty space, listening for patterns that didn't belong. Not alien voices, but mathematical anomalies. Repeating structures, impossible symmetry. Scientists already know the universe hums with background radiation. The question is whether something else is modulating it. Ever heard static that almost sounds like whispers? Your brain tries to make meaning. Researchers did the same thing, but with supercomputers. Some signals defied known cosmic sources. They were logged, archived, and never followed up publicly. At home, you've probably talked to a device that accidentally activated without being called. Same discomfort. The contradiction? SETI listens outward for aliens, while these experiments listened sideways. Different direction, same silence. Or maybe not silence. Maybe just the wrong frequency. Because if reality has neighbors, they're probably not shouting, they're tuning. Number 6. Classified files on portal anomalies. Certain locations act like portals where reality behaves differently. Officially, that's nonsense. Unofficially, classified reports describe zones with electromagnetic spikes, missing time, equipment failure, and human disorientation. Think less glowing holes, more reality lagging. Pilots reported compass failures, soldiers reported time jumps, civilians reported losing hours. The brain hates gaps, so we call it stress. But when instruments fail too, excuses get thinner. You felt a version of this when time disappears scrolling on your phone. Same sensation, darker scale. Some locations were fenced off. Others were paved over. The contradiction is perfect. Governments deny portals exist while quietly labeling areas as anomalous. Not dangerous, not safe, just weird. And nothing scares bureaucracy more than things it can't measure, because portals don't need to look dramatic. Sometimes reality just stutters, and nobody wants to be the one standing there when it catches up. Number 5. Experiments with sound to open gateways. Specific sound frequencies can alter reality, which sounds fake until you remember ultrasound can shatter glass and infrasound can induce fear, nausea, and hallucinations. Military labs tested low-frequency weapons designed to disorient enemies without bullets. Monks used chants to reach altered states. Ancient sites were built with acoustic precision. Same idea, different intent. Experiments showed certain frequencies could disrupt neural rhythms, creating dissociation and vivid imagery. You felt music change your mood instantly. Multiply that by industrial volume. The contradiction? Science calls it brain manipulation, not gateways. Yet participants described identical visions across cultures. Same shapes, same tunnels, same sense of crossing. If sound can rewrite perception, then reality is negotiable. And suddenly the phrase good vibrations feels less like a joke, because maybe the universe isn't solid. Maybe it's just loud. Number 4. Soldiers trained to view enemy timelines. Some soldiers were trained to see future battle outcomes, not prophecy, probability. Analysts combined intuition training, pattern recognition, and scenario simulation until soldiers could feel likely outcomes. It worked well enough to reduce casualties in some operations. Humans are pattern machines. We sense danger before we know why. The program just sharpened that instinct. You do this daily crossing roads or reading rooms. The contradiction, official doctrine calls it strategy, not foresight. But when multiple trainees predicted identical outcomes independently, labels stopped mattering. Seeing the future doesn't mean certainty, it means narrowing chaos. And once you accept that time is flexible in the mind, the future stops feeling fixed. It starts feeling editable, which is empowering and terrifying, mostly terrifying. Number 3. Devices built to detect parallel worlds. Machines can detect parallel universes. Physicists already collide particles looking for missing energy. Some theories say that energy leaks into adjacent dimensions. Specialized detectors monitored fluctuations that shouldn't exist. Sometimes they appeared, briefly, then vanished, like fingerprints wiped clean. You've lost objects that reappear in impossible places. Same irritation, bigger lab. The contradiction, science dismisses anecdotal glitches while publishing math that allows infinite realities. So parallel worlds are impossible emotionally, but mandatory mathematically. If that sounds insane, good. Because reality doesn't owe us comfort. It only owes consistency, and even that seems negotiable lately. Number 2. Sudden shutdown of promising programs. These projects were shut down because they failed. That's the official bedtime story. In reality, many were cut after producing ambiguous success. Not enough control. Too many variables. Too many ethical questions. When results can't be replicated on demand, funding disappears. You've seen this happen with ideas that work once and scare everyone. The contradiction is obvious. Failure doesn't scare governments. Unpredictability does. A weapon you can't aim is useless. A doorway you can't close is unacceptable. So programs vanish. Files get stamped. People get reassigned. And the silence becomes the loudest data point of all. Number 1. Whistleblowers claiming contact was successful. Some insiders say contact with other dimensions already happened. They describe intelligence, not beings, information arriving without source, solutions without steps, like intuition on steroids. Most were ignored, a few were discredited. That pattern should feel familiar. You've dismissed your own instincts because they didn't arrive logically. Same reflex. The contradiction? Every major scientific leap started as someone being laughed at. The difference is timing. Maybe contact doesn't look like visitors. Maybe it looks like ideas appearing fully formed. And if that's true, then the scariest possibility isn't that we're alone. It's that we never were.